appointed to represent Angelina in the juvenile court.
Okay. Are you guys like a GAL for her or AMC?
So we're the attorney.
Okay.
In juvenile court. I know that she had one for probate, but because it's a completely different court, she'll have a different one for this court.
Okay.
Does she live with you?
No, she's currently living with her grandmother, stepfather, father, and a bunch of other people that live in the house, and she's being completely withheld from me. I haven't been able to see her in over a month, and her father refuses to let me see her at all. She's being abused, neglected. He tells me he could do whatever he wants. When we were in probate, he had the case transferred to the probate judge. That's one of his friends. And he's basically been doing all of this stuff where he's now telling me blatantly, you'll never, he says, call the courts all you want, call the police, do whatever you want. The police will never come. The courts will never do anything. I'm never going to let you see her. And he's not letting her see my mother. He's secretly sending her to a psychiatrist. And I've been asking him repeatedly to give me that psychiatrist's information because he pulled her from her old therapist and he put her the new therapist that he won't tell me their name. He won't tell me where they are or their information so I can get medical records. And my daughter told me that he said this is a secret therapist just for daddy and her, that mommy's not allowed to know. And he's telling the therapist that I don't even exist. And so I'm really concerned. He basically said that he ensured that his connections with state officials and things like that guaranteed him to get sole custody. And it's extremely concerning that there's he's on the DCF and abuse and neglect registry. He has no stable place to live. He's living in his mother's basement. He doesn't even have primary residency of his other kids. He's also got a history of violent crime and convictions of reckless endangerment, risk of injury to a minor charges. He's got basically he's a terrible, terrible, abusive, violent person. And he has also, my daughter's been disclosing that she's been being sexually abused by his minor son that he usually leaves her with. And DCF did not investigate that. New Britain police did not investigate. So now he's just brainwashing my daughter. I have all these recordings. Every time I speak to my daughter on the phone, he screams at me. He says things on the phone to my daughter such as, "Mommy's sick. Mommy's brain's all messed up. Remember I told you how her brain's all messed up? Oh, you're not allowed to ever go to your house again because you're not allowed to go there until mommy gets better." Meanwhile, the court order says mom's access will be as determined by the father in the presence of a third party designated by the father. It doesn't say don't let me see her at all. It doesn't say she can't go to her house. It doesn't say she can't go to church. And prior to this, I have a 9-year-old I have sole custody of. And I have my own house in Orange. I've had my own stable home here in Orange for 7 years. I'm a law student. Don't have any convictions on my record. I've never been substantiations of any abuse or neglect at all. I'm a good mother. I do everything for my children. And how is anyone going to say that I'm fit to have sole custody for almost a decade and I can manage law school, taking care of my own house, all this stuff? Meanwhile, he has a 500 credit score. He can't even get a $100 credit card if he wanted. And you're going to tell me that he's fit. Meanwhile, now since he's had sole custody, I haven't seen my daughter at all. In 6 months almost, I've seen her less than 2 days total. And was
that through the family court?
Yes, that's why I filed this petition to terminate his parental rights in probate. And then they literally transferred it to the judge that's like his friend. And then I filed a motion to recuse that judge. And then the next day, the lawyer, Joe DiCicco, filed a motion to transfer it to juvenile court. So it's like, oh, how convenient. Because in that motion, I literally called them all out for this corruption that they're doing. And all of a sudden now, instead of recusing himself, they transfer it. And so, fine, they transferred it. I want to ask for a court-appointed special advocate. I want to ask for a GAL. My daughter is being abused and neglected. She needs a voice. She's being silenced and psychologically brainwashed and abused. And I have this all recording. And he says, he goes, "You could record all you want. It's not admissible in court." That's his response. And he tells everybody in the background, "Don't worry. She can't do anything. It's not admissible." Okay, well maybe then you guys, her attorney, whatever, anybody who's advocating for my daughter can speak up and say, look, this guy is abusing this kid and it's not right. My little girl needs me. I'm her mother.
Right.
There's no reason for me not to be seeing my daughter. And to put it in perspective for you, like I said, I have sole custody of my 9-year-old, and I've had sole custody for all her life. And her father sees her every other weekend. And so it's like we have a schedule, and we agreed on a schedule. And so it's like there's no reason why my ex can't give me a schedule regular. It used to be every weekend for my daughter going with her dad. Then he asked for less time. And like, you know, he'll say to me, oh, let's switch a day, let's this, whatever. Like, even though, you know, we've had problems in the past, it's nothing like what my ex here with Angelina is doing. And it's abuse. Right. And he's like, no, he's literally telling Angelina on the phone, like, oh, mommy has to find a supervisor. She didn't follow my instructions and get a supervisor to supervise your visits. And then so like I'll say to my daughter, like, Angelina, I really miss you. I want to see you. Do you want to see mommy? And he'll be like, stop trying to confuse her. Stop telling her that. Or like she'll be like, mommy, you're sick. You're sick. That's why I can't go to your house. I'm like, no, that's not true. Mommy's not sick. You're allowed to come to our house. No one can tell you can't come to your house. This is your house. And she says, and then he starts saying in the background, no, she is sick. She knows she's sick. She's just trying to upset you. She's just trying to confuse you. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. Then he starts screaming at me on the phone, telling me he's going to terminate the calls, even though the police told him so many times, don't talk to me on the phone or he'll be arrested for harassment. He doesn't care. He says with all his connections and people he knows and all his money, he could do whatever he wants, and he laughs about it. And he says, I could waste my time trying to go to court all I want. And he says he's going to make it so he has people come after me. Like, he constantly threatens me. And it's just crazy. He's a narcissist. He didn't follow any court orders in the custody case at all, ever. And so now I'm literally about to file a new custody case in a different court because this judge made it so I can't even file anything, not even an emergency order, without her consent. And then she will not grant a request for leave for any motion or pleading. And the request for leave is only supposed to apply to a motion for modification. She said I have to do that for any motion or pleading, even an emergency one. And then she denies all, no matter what it is. And so it's really, really...
Was that in Waterbury also?
No, that's in New Haven. And I've been trying to get out of New Haven because I don't live there. Neither does he. And I don't want anything to do with that court ever again. And like, for example, during the summer, I tried filing a restraining order in Waterbury Court. They transferred it to New Haven. I specifically told them I didn't want them to transfer it to New Haven. Then they transferred it. And you know what he says? He goes, I'm going to make sure they transfer it. Because like I said, he's got friends that are marshals, that are correctional officers, that are lawyers, that are probate judges,
Is he in the government somewhere? Does he work for the government somewhere?
No, but he's got a circle of family and friends that are very well connected, and he has a lot of money because he owns a construction company. When he did some discovery, when he complied with a small amount of discovery, then he wouldn't comply with the rest. I looked at his bank statements, and it showed, like, for example, in 2021, he had $300,000 go in his bank account deposited as cash in the period of a year. During that same period, he was withdrawing large amounts of cash out of ATMs and taking the money in and out. Then on his tax return, it said his gross income was $1,000, and then he did write-offs. So you're going to tell me the $300,000 in cash that went in your personal account just came from the sky, and you only reported $1,000 to the IRS, and then you had the nerve to do write-offs and actually get a refund, and you didn't pay any child support, and now they said I have to pay him child support when he owes me like $15,000 in back pay. So like, I'm not paying him anything until that amount is zero. And it's just ridiculous because it's like, I have no relief because of what this judge is doing. And he's blatantly, openly bragging constantly about how this is because of him and the lawyer he knows and family members and friends that are state officials.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And this is since May 25th. And the judge on May 25th said this is a temporary order for him to have sole custody. And then 5 days later, she went in with no court appearance, with nothing. And she changed it to a final order and wrote a 10-page opinion about me that was full of lies and slander. I got 3 different appellate matters pending right now. I'm in the process of going to be filing a federal lawsuit against a lot of people, including her. And there's just so much that I'm doing on my own. I cannot even find an attorney to take my case, because I've discovered that in Connecticut, all these family lawyers, especially where there's no due process and they're doing all this illegal stuff, they'll just basically, it's all who you know, it's your friends. So none of them want to go against the judge or help somebody who's saying, no, the judge is being corrupt. No, this is corruption, because then I've had these lawyers say to me, nope, that's my bread and butter. I can't go against her. Sorry, find somebody else. Or so, no, we can't help you. There's no help for you. And the only reason she gave him custody like that was because she said I lied about the sexual abuse, because my daughter was literally saying she's being sexually abused, acting it out, saying that his son was doing it to her, who he was leaving as a babysitter, usually on his parenting time, which used to be every weekend. And so then I reported this to DCF because my attorney at the time told me to. And they did a forensic interview. They asked my daughter at 3 years old, is there anywhere on your body no one else is allowed to touch? She answered no. And they immediately closed the police investigation right then and there. And then they said they're not allowed to ask leading questions. They're not allowed to interview the children. The police officer never even met my daughter. So then in February, she started making more detailed disclosures. I again talked to my attorney. He said, call DCF again. Same thing. They did another forensic interview in March. And in this one, she disclosed that the brother sits on her. He has her sit on him, and they switch. And during these videos where she's literally like humping her stuffed animals, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she says, I'm doing what my brother does to me. And I said, what are you doing? She said, oh, I'm sitting on my toy like my brother sits on me. And then in the forensic interview, she said he sits on her. I asked them if she could bring the toy in there to show what she's doing. And they said no toys allowed, nothing. And they're so strict. And it was so ridiculous because that's not the law. And I'm sure you know that anybody can put anybody on the stand. It doesn't matter how old they are. Police can interview any age. They don't have to do this stupid forensic interview that they did that doesn't work for a 3-year-old. And they're so scared to ask leading questions because the state wants to lose all their cases and they don't want to take things to trial. Well, I don't care. My daughter is getting silenced, and I'm not going to sit here and allow my kid to get abused and allow myself to get abused and no one does anything, because I'll literally go to this DC and go to the Supreme Court next, because I'm not going to just say, no, it's fine. You could just never let me see my kid again. And he has no relationship with her. He threatens her. He's scared of her. She said he hits her. He's beaten his other children in front of me repeatedly. And the emotional, psychological, mental abuse, he took her from her therapist and putting her in a new secret one. He won't even tell me the therapist. So I'm on the other line actually with DSS that has me on hold for 30 minutes trying to tell them I'm demanding they give me the name of the psychiatrist that she's seeing, and I have the legal right to know that. I've been asking him over and over to tell me. He will not. And my daughter said she's not allowed to tell me. Like, that's not legal. He can't do that. Everything I'm saying is like grounds for him to never see her again. And he just laughs and says, oh yeah. And the only thing he says is, I lied about the sexual abuse. He accused me of lying. I never lied. And I have all these videos of my daughter saying it, and I tried to speak up for her, advocate for her, and he turned it around saying, nope, she lied, because the forensic interview didn't, even though she made those disclosures, they said that doesn't count. And they said that they're not going to do anything. And so it's like, okay, the New Britain police is incompetent, and that was DCF's incompetent. And a DCF investigation happened again this summer with Waterbury DCF, and they said they have no concerns. They only came to my house one time. I said, I want to be able for you. I said, your policy is supposed to be that you can do a visit with the child at my house and at his house. He goes, nope, we don't have to do it at your house. But she's like scared of him. He threatens her and tells her not to say things. When he's right there, she's not going to say anything. Even if you're in your room alone with the DCF guy. If she comes to my house, he knows she's going to say, Mommy, I want to come home. He told her she's not allowed to come to my house anymore because she has a playroom. She has her room. She has all the toys a kid could ever want. She has everything. And her sister. And now it's like, I have all these clothes that never get worn. I have brand new things that she got for her birthday in May that she never got to use. I promised her we'd go to Florida to celebrate her 4th birthday on a little trip. I got her a new suitcase, everything. She tells me yesterday, Mommy, when are we going to the castle to see Elsa? All right. How do you think it feels when I know I can't even see her for a minute if I wanted to because he won't let me? And he just plays games. I message him in the app. I'm like, when can I see her? He'll say things like, oh, let me know it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday so I can get a supervisor. And I'm like, he's never provided a supervisor. It doesn't even say that. It says as determined in the presence of a third party. So in theory,
Right.
that could be literally at any store, at any place where there's other people around. It doesn't even have to be somebody supervising. And he says, nope. You have to have somebody strict supervision. You can't even be alone with her for 1 second. And I'm going to tell who it is. So I'll say, like, can me and my mom see her today? He goes, nope, sorry. Let me know if Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday works. And then I'll say, okay, it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I want to see her. He'll say, nope, sorry. You have to let me know at least 1 day in advance. And he'll say, let me know about next week. And then he's been doing this every week. And then he just makes excuses and not. And, like, it's just a way to gaslight so it looks in the app as if he's supposedly trying when he's not. And I clearly say it over and over, and he'll just stop responding. And it's just really messed up because, like, he won't give me a schedule. I've tried saying, like, look, we can do this therapeutic place where they do it here and you have to pay or whatever. He'll say, yep, you got to pay it for yourself. I'm not paying. And I'll say, okay, give me the schedule so I can set it up. He says no. He won't give me a schedule. Like when he says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if I said, okay, where will the visit take place? Who will be there? How will I do it? And what time will it be? And he'll say, oh, well, if you're not working, you should be able to be available 24/7 whenever I say, unless you are working and you just don't want to pay my child support. And like harass me and accuse me that I'm lying of not working when literally I spend every minute of my time working on this and trying to be in school, which I'm like probably going to flunk out at this point because I can't even handle all this by myself. And it's like, he won't tell me like, okay, you could see her Monday at 2:00 or whatever. And like, if I say like, okay, what time, days, how can I see her? You're just saying Monday, you're not giving any other details, then he won't respond. So it's like,
well, it is officially now in the Waterbury court. Have you filed for an attorney through there?
no, am I eligible to get one if I'm the one who petitioned?
So in juvenile, so technically, so you petitioned in probate court, but you did not petition in the juvenile court. Her attorney did. And so I think because she did that, or he did that, you should be allowed.
Even though it's to terminate his rights? Because I thought it was only the person.
It'll be, I mean, you can ask them for sure, but you should be able to apply for an attorney for the juvenile court. And I don't think that you would be able to if it's the probate court, like you wouldn't be able to do it that way.
Okay.
But because it's been transferred to the Waterbury Juvenile Court, that you should be able to file for an OCPD appointment.
And is there a docket number for it yet?
Yes, I can give that to you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
U06 CP23
Okay.
013532A.
Okay, so U like umbrella 06 CP 230135332A.
Yes.
Okay, and like I think I called the clerk the other day to ask them if it's possible to e-file, because like I do use e-services like for the other case and stuff like that. So she said no, she thought only attorneys can, but is it your understanding that like when you do it, is it on your regular e-services?
So we have it through the firm. I don't know how it would work, like if you were to do it yourself.
But is it like separate? Is it like the same e-services for all the courts? The superior?
Oh, no.
It's something separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you use Turbo Court for.
I used that for probate. Is that the same one?
It's different for.
It's different. Okay.
The juvenile court.
Okay. All right, that's fine. And are you familiar with what the thing I said about court-appointed special advocate?
So it would be a guardian ad litem, is what we call it in the juvenile system.
Okay, because this is like.
We call that in the criminal court as well.
Because this is like something that it's called like CASA. It's like a special thing that someone told me that we could ask for that. Do you ever have people who get those?
Yes, it's like yes.
It's like an advocate. They're not a lawyer, but they're like there to help. So I was planning to like file something asking for that as well. So I didn't know. I just thought maybe it would help. I've heard good things about it.
Are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I would see if you can get an OCPD appointment, and then whomever you get can help you with those types of questions. But because we represent Angelina, we have to be careful about not filing something on your behalf, but instead doing it on her behalf. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So then, are there any scheduled dates coming up or?
The date that we have right now is October 25th at 2:30.
And is that going to be like a conference or like a hearing?
It'll be a hearing. It's the purpose of the hearing is a plea hearing. And so I assume that DCF will be in touch with each of you to do interviews and stuff prior to that hearing.
Okay, so that's not going to be the type of hearing where if I had like witnesses and stuff, like they wouldn't be able to do anything on that day. It's more just a preliminary hearing?
Yes, essentially.
Okay. All right. And then as far as like with your role, like I know I did talk to the other lawyer that was briefly representing her in probate. We didn't really even do anything because it got transferred so quickly. But he said like, oh, if there's anything you wanted to send me, email me, whatever, like he said he'd be happy to look at any of the stuff, and like that his interest was to make sure like, for Angelina, and that he's wants to make sure Angelina is being heard and things like that. So is it the same where if like I wanted to send you stuff to look at or anything like that regarding her and her care and her treatment, is that appropriate or acceptable, or is that?
I think typically we tend to work with your attorney. So like we don't typically talk, like if we are the child's attorney, we don't typically get those sorts of things from the parent. We usually get it from the other attorney, as long as he or she is in agreement with giving it to us.
Okay, so usually
so
people
always make sure that you go through your attorney first, and as long as they're okay with us having that information, obviously we'll take it.
And so nobody really ever goes pro se, because I know my ex, like, he refuses to get a lawyer. Even when he had a criminal case, he said he's not getting one.
I mean, sometimes people do. Ultimately, they usually end up with an attorney.
But in this case, both of us could get one appointed. If we ask the court, we both could get one appointed.
Yeah, it depends on your income.
Okay.
And your expenses. You'll have to fill out the form at the clerk's office and submit it, and then they'll, tell you if you're accepted or denied.
And if somebody didn't get accepted with the income, are they still able to get the lawyer and just pay out of pocket?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can privately retain an attorney at any time.
Okay. All right. So then I guess is it like a standard form to ask for that, or it would just be like a motion for asking for that to be appointed to me?
Yeah, so you can just call the clerk's office in Waterbury and just say that you would like to file for an appointment of attorney, and then they'll send you whatever document you need.
Okay.
Or tell you where to find it.
Okay. And then as far as like that whole thing with the therapy and stuff, like, is that something that you're able to like get records for? Because like, I mean, I don't think it's the law that I'm allowed to have those records. And like, this is like, I want to know who's treating psychiatrically my minor child.
Right. Well, again, that would be something that you would have to have your attorney do.
Okay. All right. So I'll work on trying to ask for them to appoint me somebody, because that will help a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the sooner you can do that, if you have all these things that you want to file motions for, specifically, records and whatever else you need, he can start working on those things sooner rather than later.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to give the clerks a call now.
Okay.
Okay. And
Sounds
then
good.
This is my cell, so if you need anything, feel free to call me.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.